To now talk about three tools. Where are you? We're going to talk about the pencil tool right here, the paintbrush tool or the brush tool, and the blob brush tool, which is right below that paintbrush tool. So now I will say the pencil tool and the brush tool work in very similar ways, whereas instead of with the pen tool, you have to click to make those anchor points, whereas with both of these tools you can just draw like you typically would on a piece of paper, but the way what word am I looking for? The artistic properties of the way that these two tools are different, you can see right here. So let me start this over. Okay. So our pencil tool is going to allow you to draw these free-form paths, and it's going to create multiple anchor points. You guys can see those anchor points, and it automatically kind of arcs that line based on the movement that you made with the mouse. Now here's the thing, is that it's going to ignore any presets that you might have done. So if I go up here and I change this to a different width and I change this to let me just start over. Grab the tool, and I change all of these things up here. You'll notice that it will automatically reset to that uniform basic line. But at any time, I can select that, and I can come up here and I can adjust that. Okay. So what I'm playing around with here is this width, which I've already talked to you about. So be sure to play around with that because there's cool things that happen there. And then these are your brush styles. And now like what? I got like 5 open right now. That's pretty boring. There's more. Go under window. Remember, window is where we go to open up different panels that we want for options. Go underneath windows, and we have brush libraries. There's all these different kinds of brushes here. And so I like to use the artistic ones, and I like to use this one, chalk, charcoal, and pencil. It gives you some really realistic options here. And so you can scroll down. So like if I did that, and I'll click off so you can see it, it kind of has that same sort of jagged, faded sort of look that you would get from like a charcoal pencil or something, something like that. Right. Now you can always go back here and open up a new library, or a shortcut to that would just be going from this folder right here. And we have different ones with paintbrushes like that. Make it look like it's really painted on there. So some cool things to play around with. I'll nest that in with my stroke panel there. Okay. Now the difference between this pencil brush, remember anything that you have set, it doesn't care. But if you set stuff up with this pencil, the paintbrush, it's going to take that same setting and it will apply it automatically. So there's kind of the main difference between the brush. Now the blob brush is a really cool tool. You see how all these create lines, right? Or paths with anchor points. Now the blob brush tool is something different. So I'll paint with that. Now I'll go to select it. See, I have a path that actually like outlines it. So rather, say that again? Like bubble letters. Yeah, exactly. So rather than creating lines that you have to adjust that, I can go in and I can click off to reset, make this into a custom cool line shape. Who knows what you can do with it. It's almost starting to look like a snake, sort of. Play around with that. So another way to create interesting lines. And yeah, that's kind of the pencil, the brush, and the blob brush tool. But I think the most important thing is to play around with these different brush libraries because there's all sorts of fun things in there for you to play around with. Cool? All right, let's try it out.